Hi. So a couple of people have been asking me about the setup here for the recent live streams that I've been doing. So this is just hopefully an informative video for anyone wondering how to get their live streams maybe a little bit more interesting, or a little bit more engaging, or just to look a little bit better and stuff. So without further ado, let's see if we can go through this. I'm going to switch to this camera here. So first off, like pretty much everyone else, I use the OBS open broadcasting software to navigate everything. This is the sort of the brain of it. For the audio side of things, I'm using Reaper, the digital audio workstation, which I recommend checking out. So here we go. Here's the here's what I see. This is incredibly bright at the moment. Let's see if we can go back here. Looks all a little washed out, but up here, how the best way I can do this, I'm not really sure. But basically, in front of me here is a little strobe light that I can set to be some sort of semblance of a spotlight. It's just a white light that shines directly on my face. Over here, you can see a big mess of lights, which are actually four little what do they call them? Par cans anymore? I don't know. Stage lights. They're just those thin, what are they, LED lights that you can assign various colors to. What else? This is a computer here, obviously, just a laptop. Over here, I have this thing by Chauvet. How do you say that word? Aussies would probably say Chauvet DJ. Chauvet DJ, maybe? This is the brains for all of the light functionality. So basically, the chain of my lights goes. Whoa! Under here, I have another Chauvet. Oh, my French friends are going to kill me for this. Chauvet DJ bar light down here at my feet. As you can see, if you look at my. Maybe it's not making too much difference at the moment. I'm just basically trying to block that light off my face here in the corner screen. So it goes from that light up here to that spotlight, and then it's impossible to see. Maybe this camera is a complete waste of time. I'm not sure. Maybe I can pull these lights down a little bit. Maybe let's go with that. Is that any better? So you can sort of see that light there. Now that's not on, but just next to it, maybe I've just switched to the bottom light. Sorry, maybe this video was a complete waste of time. Let's go, I don't know, have I got just like oh, maybe this will be good. Okay, yeah, this is good. So so there's that spotlight. Here is a cheap laser light, which I think is blue. Oh, it says compact blue, so it must be blue. Also, just keep in mind that I'm colorblind, so if you see any lights that are completely cooked, then that's why. Like if I look like a Smurf or something, then that's usually why, is because I don't know what I'm looking at when I'm sort of trying to mix colors and things. I'm just flying blind. So there are the four lights. You can pick these up pretty cheaply from most, DJ stores or music stores and things like that. So it goes from this bottom light to there, all via DMX, and then behind me here. So that's where my light source is at the moment. So maybe I can switch back to something like that, and then maybe that will help. Yeah, not really. I haven't got any lights back there to show you what's behind me, but it's basically a smoke machine that has like lights in it. I guess they call it a geyser smoke machine, which I think is designed to simulate, give some sort of rough simulation of a pyro. Basically, it blows smoke up into the air, and then flavors it with all these flashing lights and stuff. It looks pretty cool. But what I've done is just put it on its side, so it's basically sprays like this. straight into the back of my head, basically. Let's switch to another natural light here. Okay. So that's the chain of events, and they're all operated and controlled by this. Again, this is called a Foot-C2. I originally bought this because of some sort of plan to operate just subtle little lighting things on stage. But it was just too much with like switching, because I also use the Headrush Pedalboard for all of my guitar sounds. And between that, and also trying to sing and all that kind of thing, it started to get too much. So I basically just put it in a box and never used it again until now. So it's worked out great. But having said that, I know there's some other options where you can do it all internally within a computer. It's some sort of DMX to USB connectivity, and then there's software and things which I haven't really checked out. Maybe that's a thing that I can do in the future. All right, so let's just switch back to the backlight, like that, and then I just wanted to show you here. That's obviously the camera that you're seeing me on down in the corner here, which is a Logitech. What do they call this? It's like a Logitech. I've got the box down there somewhere. I can't remember. I've got to remember. It's called a Logitech Stream Cam. There it is. That's better. There. I'll get my hand out of the way. So that's for that one. Now down here, you can see, sort of, there I have a Logitech. I think that's like a C920. I've just recently moved that there. In the past, I was using an old phone, but that proved to be a little bit of an annoying thing, setting up all of the connectivity for that. So now I've just got another Logitech down there. That's worth noting that. Well, actually, it's worth noting that backlight tends to just switch off unexpectedly, so I always have to kind of refresh it. Nope, that didn't refresh it. Maybe that did. Okay, I think that's good. So if you try to use two Logitech brand cameras at the same time using a USB, you can't see in there. Under there, I've got a USB hub, so we can just plug 8 devices into, or however many it is, at once. But if you try to plug 2 Logitech cameras into that hub, it doesn't agree with that. So you need to go one into the hub and one into another USB port on your computer. And also over here, you can sort of see the remnants of a DSLR that I did have set up there, but again, I'm not sure. This is all kind of learning as we go, isn't it? So where did I put that? Here. This thing. Let's see if we can get some light on that. This is the cheapest. Well, I don't know if it's the cheapest, but it's a cheap HDMI to USB converter. So you can run from a DSLR camera HDMI out into USB into your computer. But I'm not sure if it's this thing or my DSLR. It's the camera that I have is just like an entry-level DSLR. It's like a D5800, 5600 or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But just recently it started to be all choppy and stuff, and so I'm wondering if, I know Elgato make a good HDMI to USB conversion thing, so maybe I should check that out for future. But I think the camera I'm holding at the moment, you can see that in the corner there, is a Samsung Galaxy S10 Note Ultra. I can't remember the name of it. It's basically the Samsung thing, and the camera on this looks really cool. That's that's basically the camera side of things. One thing that also happens, I wonder if I can do this while I continue to speak to you. One thing that I have started to fire up is, again, quite a cheap camera slider, which basically does this stuff. I can set that to just continuously sort of move back and forward. But again, anyone that's saw my last stream will know that there's a certain point, even then, I guess that's the downside of buying cheap stuff, is that something cooked is going to happen with it. So there's a certain point in its trajectory where it stutters along. I think I know why it's doing it, but I haven't got to that yet. So that's all that. I think I've covered everything there. And then, so the plan was to be able to move to different lighting states. Let's see if we can work this out. So maybe I'll have to switch back to this guy. Yeah, see, because of this camera will only operate if it's 100% dedicated to doing the thing that I'm instructing it to do. Let's see if that wakes it up. Maybe not. No, again, this is all the kind of the temperamental downside to, doing things a bit kind of mad scientists-y. Let's see. So this is connected via an app called Droid Cam OBS, which works really well, but I've just made it cry because it's not going to reactivate, is it? Maybe I can get that connection will be dropped. Yes. Now let's just try this again. Refresh. Maybe activate again. Nope, it's gone offline. Oh well. Let's exit out of that. Let's go again. Here we go. So let's see if we can explore how I use Reaper to... Actually, what I could probably do is, let's go into this scene and then add a scene. You're not seeing what I'm doing in OBS here, but I'm basically adding a window capture scene, and I'm going to add this. Now this is basically my lighting states. Within the lighting control foot switch thing that I was showing you earlier, I'm able to create and save states with that, mixing a bunch of colors and things and so on. So there's a bunch of different, as we go through and click on these, there's a bunch of different things that I've got going on. And as you can see here, anyone familiar with piano rolls and things, because if it switches over to here, this is a piano roll that I've just labeled. From 1, I think, through to 24. I think that's the limit of this foot switch thing. And you just basically put little MIDI information, which sends that MIDI information from my audio interface to the light controller, because the light controller has a MIDI in port on the back of it. Now that's very important. Without that, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. As I mentioned before, maybe some of the other options with converting DMX to MIDI, that obviously might be a lot simpler. But That's the way I'm doing it currently, and it seems to work okay. So that's pretty straightforward, but it took a long time for me to figure out a solution similar to that for the cameras. Okay, so sorry, I'm very red right now. I'll switch that back over to something a bit more kind of neutral, maybe like that. Where was I? So yeah, so working out the camera changes was a complete learning curve for me. Basically, what I had to do is come up with. Let's see if we can find it. Let's turn that one off, and I'll add another one here, a window capture. Let's go like this, and the name of it is MIDI Key2key. This is it here. I'll try to make this a bit bigger. The app is called, well, I guess it's is it called an app if it's on a computer? I guess it is now. I'm kind of old, and so I'm just used to calling these programs. But this is called MIDI Key2, number 2, key. And basically what that means is MIDI keyboard to MIDI, from MIDI keyboard to computer keyboard. Basically you can, I don't know why this was created necessarily, but basically it enables you to assign MIDI notes to type for you. And so what that then does is that I can, within OBS, I can create not shortcut keys, hotkeys. Like, so, like Control-Shift-Alt F7, like, for example. And what that will do is I can use that combination of keys to switch scenes. I'm doing this manually here now within OBS, but I can also use hotkeys to do that. I think that's how those little, you might see some streamers have those little Stream Deck devices where it's basically like a row of buttons and they can just kind of switch scenes like this without having to worry about their keyboard. I guess this operates in a similar way, but I've managed to automate it. Maybe one of those Stream Deck things will completely simplify this process, but for now, this is the way I'm doing it. So here you have to, well, maybe that's something that's going to take too much time to explain, but basically, if anyone wants to know how to do that, then maybe just send me a message or something. I can probably help you. But basically, that means that you can assign, as I said, MIDI notes to keyboard, computer keyboard actions. So then it's a case of hitting start here, like this, minimizing that. I'm not sure if I can actually close that. Maybe I've made that mistake in the past. And then it's the same thing within Reaper. It's the same. Yeah, I'm not able to switch to this window, but it's basically the same thing. It's like using MIDI, using like piano roll, and assigning each note to switch to a different camera. So, like I've got, does that switch to the guitar? I hope it has. Yeah, it has. And then switching to like, tonight's live stream performance is being, what you probably just saw was the beginnings of an introduction video. And so, yeah, so that's basically how that works. It was a bit of an ordeal to try to figure out how to do that, but we got there in the end. And so then the next component was this. Well, actually, I should also. Sorry about it. This is a bit of a throw of information. I haven't really planned out how I'm going to actually explain any of this, but basically using the Voxengo voice. I guess they just call it the Voxengo Recorder, which is this tiny little piece of software made by Voxengo, which enables you to, I think it's actually designed so you can put it on the master bus of your DAW, and just record a straight wave file from your DAW at all times, regardless of what's actually happening within your DAW. But what I've done is I don't know how I did it exactly, but I was able to send that output stream to another, like more of an internal sound card into which then feeds the sound into OBS. So there's probably there's probably a simpler way to do that, but that's the way that I've discovered. And then you have to play around with latency and syncing and things within OBS to try to match the audio with the video, because sometimes there's a little bit of a lag. So I hope I've explained that. It's probably not helpful. Just the name of that little piece of software might be helpful for some people, though. It's the Voxengo Recorder VST. So the next step was incorporating Salty's camera. And the way I did that was via Discord. Here we can see Salty. He's not online at the moment. Hello, Salty. This is just I've just put a picture of Salty up in the corner there so you can get a bit of a vibe on how that looks. So basically, I'd call Salty through Discord so I can get a video feed of what he's doing. And then he also has a multi-camera setup which he's able to switch between his illustrating and his face. Also, you should definitely go and check out Salty's art streams at twitch.tv/thesalt. He's doing some incredible things with streaming setups, and he's built this little throne and stuff where it's pretty wild. But he's a pretty active and consistent streamer doing the stuff that he's doing, so definitely recommend going and checking that out. So I've got it switched off at the moment, but there's also a plugin whose name escapes me at the moment, but as the scenes were switching here, I was able to animate to have that kind of smooth transition down and bouncing around the screen, all sorts of things. It's a bit of a wacky effect, and you don't want to sort of do it too much. Try and figure out how to make it look engaging without it being distracting, I guess. And that's, all of that kind of stuff is just a trial and error thing. So then I had to keep that call active, and it's like a bit of a learning curve trying to figure out how I can send Salty an audio feed of what I'm doing on my end so he can hear where he is. And because it's a Discord, essentially an internet phone call, none of that stuff is optimized for audio, so he's getting a mono, just imagine like an early 2000s MySpace audio stream MP3, something that you downloaded from LimeWire back in 1999 or something. But it's better than nothing. I'm also able to send him my virtual camera within OBS, which is helpful as well. But again, it all depends on how much your computer can handle. I think that was the tipping point for me. There's still a few bugs in this, and some of the behavior seems a bit erratic sometimes, mainly due to that DSLR. I've got to figure out what to do with that. Although I think that this is going to look just as good, if not better, than the DSLR. And then obviously once you sort of really dive into OBS, you can get this kind of, you can do earthquake type effects. This one here has a VHS kind of style filter, and freeze frame effects like this, and then you can sort of add smoke overlays and things as well, like this, a bit more of a stuttery kind of thing. It's all kind of fun, and then you can obviously program that to happen in certain points in your song. What else is there? Well, there was one other thing which is a bit silly, which is this guy, which is the Viking guy. Now this happened via Snapcam is the name of the app. So again, it's very temperamental. There he is. Now that camera is just the built-in camera in my laptop. And the flames are through an external OBS plugin. And again, that's kind of fun, but it's also a bit unpredictable. So yeah, so that's how that. Oh, there's also one other little thing where I was able to fade the edges of Salty's scene here, rather than it being a block. So that yeah, there's lots of tutorials and stuff online to figure out how to do all that kind of stuff as well. So maybe this is only interesting information for a select few of you, but I definitely recommend, if you're a musician looking at wanting to do live streaming things, to sort of take the time and maybe invest a little bit of money. Apart from my guitars and stuff, I'm just trying to think what the most expensive item here would have been. Maybe you've got some of this stuff lying around. Anyway, these lights here will probably, I don't know, $200, 200 Australian dollars probably. They're quite cheap. Maybe a little bit more, I can't remember. But you don't have to have, because I got 4 of them across here. And you could definitely get away with using 2. This guy was probably another $100 or something. This bar light down here was a little bit expensive, I think, maybe 400. This foot, you can look all of this stuff up if you like. I can maybe list some of it in the comments. This bar here, I actually can't remember how much that was, maybe $300 or something on Amazon. So yeah, that's it. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and we'll try and organize another live stream soon. All right, take care.